The year 2012 involved many significant scientific events and discoveries, including the first orbital rendezvous by a commercial spacecraft, the discovery of a particle highly similar to the long-sought Higgs boson, and the near eradication of guinea worm disease. A total of 72 successful orbital space flights occurred in 2012, and the year also saw numerous developments in fields such as robotics, 3D printing, stem cell research and genetics. Over 540,000 technological patent applications were made in the United States alone in 2012. 2012 was declared the International Year of Sustainable Energy for All by the United Nations. 2012 also marked Alan Turing Year, a celebration of the life and work of the English mathematician, logician, cryptanalyst and computer scientist Alan Turing. Topic: Events, discoveries and inventions. Topic: January. The 1st of January, NASA's Grail B satellite successfully enters lunar orbit, joining its twin spacecraft Grail A. The two satellites will study the Moon's gravitational field, generating a detailed map of its fluctuations to help scientists understand how the Moon formed. The 2nd of January, China launches its first commercial 3D TV channel, operated by China Central Television (CCTV). A new study shows that deep brain stimulation (DBS) is a safe and effective intervention for treatment-resistant depression in patients with either unipolar major depressive disorder (MDD) or bipolar I disorder (BP). The 3rd of January, genetically modified fast-aging mice exhibited improved health and lived 2 to 3 times longer than expected after being injected with stem cells, according to findings published in Nature Communications. The 4th of January, American scientists report that a parasitic species of fly which compels honeybees to abandon their hives may be responsible for a global honeybee die-off that has decimated hives around the world. Honeybees are crucial pollinators, and their rapidly diminishing population may have severe effects on human agriculture. University of Wyoming scientists developed genetically modified silkworms capable of producing large amounts of spider silk, which has a greater tensile strength than steel. If available in bulk quantities, the silk could be used to produce high-strength medical sutures and lightweight forms of body armor. Scientists at the University of Southern California develop a method for generating accurate 3D models of cellular genomes. Researchers at Oxford University report promising results in human trials of a prototype hepatitis C vaccine. Scientists at Cornell University use a specialized lens to entirely cloak an object from view for 40 trillionths of a second by altering the speed of light. Classified documents are leaked detailing a range of advanced non-lethal weapons proposed or in development by the United States Armed Forces. Among the systems described are a laser-based weapon designed to divert hostile aircraft, an underwater sonic weapon for incapacitating scuba divers and a heat-based weapon designed to compel crowds to disperse. The 5th of January, Mae Jemison, the first female African-American astronaut, is selected to head the DARPA and NASA-sponsored 100-year Starship project, which aims to conduct research into the technological and human elements needed for manned interstellar travel. American scientists report that they have bred the first-ever monkeys grown from cells taken from different embryos. Such chimeric hybrids could give valuable insights into the development of human embryos. A team of international researchers reports that low-resistivity electrical wires can be produced at the nanometer scale by chaining phosphorus atoms together and encasing them in silicon. In future, the development may permit the production of efficient nanometer-scale electronics. A team of American, French and Italian researchers demonstrate working transistors made from cotton fibers, doped with gold nanoparticles and a conductive polymer. The invention could permit the creation of a range of electronic fabric devices, including clothing capable of measuring pollutants, T-shirts that display dynamic information, and carpets that sense how many people are crossing them. The 6th of January, the human brain's ability to function can start to deteriorate as early as age 45, according to a study published in the British Medical Journal. Scientists refute a Greenpeace claim that genetically modified corn has caused a new insect pest. The 9th of January. Human emissions of carbon dioxide will defer the next ice age, according to a new study. Researchers in California develop a cheap plastic capable of removing large amounts of carbon dioxide (CO2) from the air. The new material could enable the development of artificial trees that lower atmospheric concentrations of CO2 in an effort to lessen the effects of climate change. The 10th of January. The 2012 Consumer Electronics Show opens in Las Vegas, Nevada. Among the new products and technologies showcased are large-screen OLED televisions, quad-core tablet computers and consumer-ready 3D printers. Climate change, in the form of reduced snowfall in mountains, is having a major impact on mountainous plant and bird communities, through the increased ability of elk to stay at high elevations over winter and consume plants, according to a study in Nature Climate Change. The 11th of January. An international team of astronomers report that each star in the Milky Way galaxy may host, on average, at least 1.6 planets, suggesting that over 160 billion star-bound planets may exist in our galaxy alone. The team used gravitational microlensing to discover the gravitational effects of planets orbiting distant stars. American astronomers discovered 3 rocky exoplanets smaller than Earth, the smallest such worlds yet found, orbiting a red dwarf star 130 light-years from Earth. Researchers report the discovery of a natural hormone that has a similar effect to exercise on muscle tissue, burning calories, improving insulin processing, and perhaps boosting strength. The 12th of January. Scientists formally describe the world's smallest known vertebrate species, Pedipteran amelensis, a frog that measures just 7 mm in length. The species was first discovered in Papua New Guinea in 2009. The University of Connecticut researcher who studied the health benefits of resveratrol, a compound found in red wine, has been found to have falsified data on numerous occasions. The 13th of January. IBM researchers successfully store a single bit of data in a group of just 12 supercooled iron atoms. Current commercial hard disks require over 1 million atoms to store 1 bit of data. The breakthrough, which was achieved with the use of a scanning tunneling microscope, may permit the production of ultra-high-density computer storage media in future. BBC E-Commerce Times. German scientists convert a gold sphere just 60 nanometers in diameter into an ultra-sensitive listening device, potentially allowing the sounds of bacteria and other single-celled organisms to be recorded. New Scientist, Phys Rev. Let. The 14th of January, researchers at the University of Cambridge repair myelin sheath damage in aging mice with multiple sclerosis by injecting the blood of younger mice into them, reactivating the older mice's regenerative stem cells. New Scientist, Cell Stem Cell. The 15th of January, Russia's Phobos grunt Martian sample return spacecraft, which became stranded in orbit after a post-launch malfunction in November 2011, re-enters Earth's atmosphere. BBC. The 18th of January. Astronomers report the discovery of the most distant dwarf galaxy yet found, approximately 10 billion light-years away. Christian Science Monitor, Nature. A British amateur astronomer discovers a new Neptune-sized exoplanet, just days after the BBC's Stargazing Live programme makes a public appeal for volunteers to assist scientists in the search for potential exoplanets. Over 100,000 volunteers are reportedly taking part in the ongoing search. BBC. Archaeologists find a novel tulip-shaped fossil, formerly named Cyphosorctum gregarium, in the Middle Cambrian Burgess Shale in the Canadian Rockies. The 20-centimetre-long creature reportedly possessed a unique filter feeding system. Science Daily, PLOS 1. A working 9-nanometer transistor is developed by IBM engineers, demonstrating that nanotubes could serve as a viable alternative to silicon in future nanoelectronic devices. Technology Review, NanoLED. The 19th of January. Austrian researchers develop a quantum computer capable of performing calculations without revealing any of the data involved, using encoded strings of photons designed to appear random. This method of blind quantum cryptography may permit sensitive data to be processed and transferred without any danger of interception or decryption, leading to ultra-secure cloud computing. New Scientist Science. NASA data shows that in 2011, temperatures in the Arctic rose beyond the record established in 2010, setting a new record. Skeptical Science. The 20th of January, virologists agreed to a temporary hiatus on experiments on the H5N1 influenza virus, due to fears that an airborne strain of the lethal virus could be used by bioterrorists. New Scientist Science. The 22nd of January. American researchers report that nanoparticles can be successfully engineered to mimic part of the body's immune system, improving its response to vaccines. BBC Nat. Meta. An international team of scientists concludes that anthropogenic CO2 emissions over the last 100 to 200 years have already raised ocean acidity far beyond the range of natural variations. Science Daily Nat. Climate Change. The 23rd of January. South Korean scientists developed touchscreens that can recognize the existence and concentration of DNA molecules placed on them. The invention could allow the development of smartphones with the ability to diagnose users' medical conditions. ABC Angu. Chem. Int. Ed. ENGL. The Lancet reports that a human medical trial of embryonic stem cells successfully eased a degenerative form of blindness in 2 volunteers, and showed no signs of any adverse effects. Medical Express. The Lancet. Brain scans of people under the influence of psilocybin, the active ingredient in magic mushrooms, have given scientists the most detailed picture to date of how psychedelic drugs work. Imperial College London PNAS BR. J. Psychiatry. Scientists demonstrate a terahertz antenna 100 nanometers across 30,000 times smaller than the previous smallest antenna. The invention could permit the production of lightweight, handheld devices able to accurately scan for bombs, chemicals and even subcutaneous tumors. Extremetech Popshi Nat. Photon. The 24th of January. Earth is struck by the largest solar storm since 2005, creating huge aurora and potentially interfering with satellite communications worldwide. BBC. A nest of dinosaur eggs 100 million years older than the previous oldest site is found in South Africa. The fossils are of the prosauropod species Massospondylus, a relative of the long-necked sauropods. BBC PNAS. The 25th of January. University of Washington scientists report that injecting sulfate particles into the stratosphere will not fully offset climate change. Science Daily J. Climate. A study in Japan finds that green tea can significantly reduce disability in the elderly, likely due to its antioxidant content. Medical Express AM. J. Clin. NUTR. The 26th of January, American researchers successfully cloak a three-dimensional object, making it invisible from all angles, for the first time. However, the demonstration works only for waves in the microwave region of the electromagnetic spectrum. BBC N. J. Phys. The 27th of January. An international team of scientists reports that graphene, already widely known for its conductive properties, is also able to selectively filter gases and liquids. The material could thus potentially find use in industrial distillation and water purification. BBC The Register Science. A study published in the journal Carcinogenesis shows that in both cell lines and mouse models, grapeseed extract (GSE) kills head and neck cancer cells, while leaving healthy cells unharmed. Medical Express Carcinogenesis. Using an airborne LiDAR system, scientists produced the most detailed 3D image of the Amazon rainforest yet recorded, allowing the accurate measurement of the rainforest's ecosystem and rate of deforestation. The Guardian. 2012 BX34, an asteroid between 8 meters (26 feet) and 11 meters (36 feet) across, passes within 60,000 kilometers of the Earth, performing one of the closest asteroid flybys yet recorded. BBC, NASA. British animators develop a new algorithmic method of creating highly realistic CGI trees, allowing films and video games to easily display a realistic 3D foliage. New Scientist, ACM Trans. Graph. The 29th of January, using stem cells generated from patients with schizophrenia, bipolar depression and other mental illnesses, scientists at the University of Edinburgh create neurons with brain tissue genetically identical to the person's brain. The breakthrough could allow new treatments for mental illnesses to be accurately tested without endangering patients. The Guardian. The 30th of January. A United Nations report warns that time is running out to ensure there is enough food, water and energy for a rapidly rising world population. By 2030, the world will need at least 50% more food, 45% more energy and 30% more water, according to estimates. Reuters, UN. The British Royal Navy begins development of a new anti-missile defence system, the Sea Scepter, capable of intercepting and destroying supersonic missiles within an area of 500 square miles, 1,300 square kilometres. The system is likely to enter service by 2017. BBC. American researchers report that ultrasound waves can be used effectively to kill sperm, potentially offering a new male contraceptive method. Healthcare Global, Reprod, Bio, Endocrinal. Ozone from anthropogenic air pollution in North America leads to the annual loss of 1.2 million tons of wheat in Europe alone, according to a study published by British universities. Zorg Biogeosciences. A NASA study reports that changes in solar activity cannot be responsible for the current period of global warming. The Sun's total solar irradiance has in recent years dipped to the lowest levels recorded during the satellite era. Science Daily, Atmos, Chem, Phys. According to genetic studies, modern humans seem to have mated with at least two groups of ancient humans, Neanderthals and Denisovans. New York Times, Nature. The 31st of January. American scientists successfully demonstrate a method of decoding thoughts by studying activity in the human brain's superior temporal gyrus, which is involved in linguistic processing. Using this method, a device which reads and transmits the thoughts of brain-damaged patients could become a reality in the future. The Telegraph, BBC, PLOS Biol. Microchip designer AMD launches its Radeon HD 7950 graphics card based on a 28nm manufacturing process, a more advanced die shrink of the current 32nm standard. The Inquirer. Poyang Lake, China's largest freshwater lake, has almost completely dried up due to a combination of severe drought and the impact of the recently built Three Gorges Dam. The Guardian. February. The 1st of February, researchers report that the eruption of supervolcanoes could be predicted several decades before the event by detecting the seismic and chemical signs of a massive magma buildup. BBC, Nature. The 2nd of February. The European Commission issues a €225 million $330 million contract to an Anglo-German consortium for 8 additional satellites to expand Europe's Galileo satellite navigation system. BBC. Astronomers report the discovery of a large exoplanet orbiting within the habitable zone of a star 22 light-years distant. This is the 4th potentially life-supporting exoplanet discovered since May 2011. San Francisco Chronicle. Researchers reportedly create the world's thinnest pane of glass, a sheet of silicon and oxygen just 3 atoms wide. The glass formed in an accidental reaction when the scientists were synthesizing graphene on copper-covered quartz. Science Mag, NanoLED. The 3rd of February. The European Southern Observatory successfully activates its Very Large Telescope (VLT) by linking 4 existing optical telescopes to operate as a single device. The linked VLT is the largest optical telescope yet built, with a combined mirror diameter of 130 meters (430 feet). BBC. Physicists at Germany's Max Planck Institute unveil a microscope that can image living brain cells as they function inside a living animal. Fazorg, science. American scientists demonstrate a medical procedure that may allow patients suffering from nerve damage to recover within weeks, rather than months or years. The procedure makes use of a cellular mechanism similar to that which repairs nerve axons in invertebrates. Science Daily, J. Neurosci, Res. MIT researchers develop high-temperature photonic crystals capable of efficiently converting heat to electricity, potentially allowing the creation of pocket-sized microreactors with 10 times the efficiency and lifespan of current commercial batteries. As photonic crystals are already a relatively mature technology, the new invention could be commercialized in as little as 2 years. Extremetech. A Lancet study reports that global malaria deaths may be badly underestimated, giving a revised 2010 malaria death toll of 1.24 million. By contrast, the World Health Organization estimated that 655,000 people died of malaria in 2010. BBC, The Lancet. The 4th of February, Dutch doctors successfully fit an 83-year-old woman with an artificial jaw made using a 3D printer. This operation, the first of its kind, could herald a new era of accurate, patient-tailored artificial transplants. BBC. The 6th of February. After nearly 20 years of intermittent drilling, Russian scientists reportedly break through to the surface of the subterranean Lake Vostok, buried 2.5 miles (4.0 kilometers) under the Antarctic ice. The lake, which has not been uncovered for over 15 million years, may harbor a unique prehistoric ecosystem. The Guardian, The Washington Post. A team of engineers and biologists develop a working worm computer memory out of salmon DNA molecules by combining the DNA with silver nanoparticles. Extremetech, APPL. Phys. Let. The 7th of February. Scientists report that rapid declines in some British and European ladybird species are being caused by the spread of the invasive harlequin species. BBC, Divers. Distrip. The entire genome of an extinct species of human, the 40,000-year-old Denisova hominin, has been decoded from a fossil. Fazorg. The 8th of February, NASA data reveals that the total land ice lost from Greenland, Antarctica and Earth's glaciers and ice caps between 2003 and 2010 totaled about 4.3 trillion tons, 1,000 cubic miles, adding about 0.5 inches, 12 millimeters, to global sea levels. Such a quantity of ice would be sufficient to cover the entire United States to a depth of 1.5 feet, 0.5 meters, NASA, JPL. The 9th of February, researchers at Case Western Reserve University discover that bariatrine, a drug normally used to treat skin cancer, can quickly reverse the symptoms of Alzheimer's disease in mice, removing over 50% of the disease's trademark amyloid plaque from the brain within 72 hours. CNN, Science. The 10th of February, scientists at the University of California, San Diego report the creation of the tiniest telecommunications laser yet built, just 200 nanometers wide. The highly efficient nanolaser could be used to develop optical computers and ultra-high-resolution imaging systems. POPSHI, Nature. The 13th of February. A new UN report warns that 24% of global land area has declined in productivity over the past 25 years due to unsustainable land use, and soil erosion rates are about 100 times greater than nature can replenish. UPI, UNEP. The European Space Agency successfully conducts the maiden launch of its new Vega rocket, transporting several satellites into orbit, including the first Polish, Hungarian and Romanian satellites. The Telegraph. BAE Systems engineers unveil a carbon fiber-based structural battery capable of being integrated into a device's framework, reducing weight while maintaining structural strength and power capacity. BBC. The 14th of February, in a groundbreaking human trial, American scientists report that damaged heart tissue in heart attack patients can be repaired with infusions of the patient's own stem cells. The treatment halved the amount of extant scar tissue within a year. BBC, The Lancet. The 15th of February, Nevada becomes the first U.S. state to allow the testing of autonomous vehicles on U.S. public roadways. DMV. The 16th of February, the speed at which someone walks may predict their likelihood of developing dementia later in life, according to researchers in the U.S. BBC, Neurology. The 20th of February, scientists report regenerating Selene stenophila from 32,000-year-old remains. This surpasses the previous record of 2,000 years for the oldest material used to regenerate a plant. Discovery News, PNAS. The 22nd of February. Scientists have extended the life of male mice by 15%, using an enzyme called SIRT6, Kurzweil, Nature. Engineers at Stanford University reveal a wirelessly powered, self-propelled medical device that can travel through the bloodstream to deliver drugs, perform diagnostics or microsurgeries. Science Daily, Stanford. NASA reports the detection of the solid form of buckyballs, buckminsterfluorine, in deep space. Space.com, NASA. Researchers show that sirtuin, a class of proteins, is directly linked to longevity in mammals. ZME Science, Nature. The 24th of February, British-Italian researchers demonstrate a giant 3D printer capable of constructing a full-sized house in a single 24-hour session. The machine, which uses sand and a chemical binder as its working material, prints structures from the ground up, including stairs, partition walls and even piping cavities. Gizmag. The 26th of February. Researchers publish the first images of the charge distribution in a single molecule, precisely showing the motion of electrons. The observed distribution apparently corresponds closely with predictive models. BBC, Nat. Nanotechmol. It may be possible to one day create an unlimited supply of human eggs to aid fertility treatment, US doctors say. BBC, Nat. Med. The 27th of February. The remains of two new species of prehistoric penguin are discovered, Kairuku gribnafi and Kairuku waitaki. Standing nearly 5 feet (1.5 meters) tall, Kairuku gribnafi is the largest penguin ever discovered. Discovery, J. Vet Br. Paleontol. The 28th of February. IBM announces a breakthrough in quantum computing, demonstrating a qubit microchip that can preserve its quantum states up to 4 times longer than previous designs. IBM, Kurzweil. Researchers estimate that Tyrannosaurus rex's bite force could exceed 57,000 newtons, more than 3 times that of a great white shark. Telegraph, Biol. Let. The 29th of February, Raspberry Pi single-board computer is commercially launched through UK online retailers. BBC. March. The 1st of March, new research concludes that the Earth's oceans may be growing more acidic at a faster rate than at any time in the past 300 million years. MSNBC, Science. The 2nd of March, NASA's Cassini spacecraft detects oxygen in the atmosphere of Saturn's moon Dione. BBC. Meta-analysis of 42 previous studies concludes that some consumption of chocolate may be good for the heart. Reuters. Am. J. Clint, NUTR. The 5th of March, a study finds a correlation between snoring as a toddler and behavior problems later in childhood. BBC, Pediatrics. The 7th of March. Physicists from Fermi National Accelerator Laboratory report data suggesting that the elusive hypothesized Higgs boson, God particle, with a mass of 115 to 135 GeV, C2, may have been detected. New York Times, Interactions.org. Scientists successfully decode the gorilla genome, the last of the great ape genera to be sequenced. BBC, Nature. The 8th of March. A study suggests that donor stem cells may prevent organ rejection in imperfectly matched transplant cases. Los Angeles Times, Sci. Transil, Med. The International Daya Bay Neutrino Experiment announces the discovery of a new type of neutrino oscillation. Science magazine, Phys. Rev. Let. The 9th of March, U.S. researchers announce a breakthrough in treating AIDS, using a cancer drug to attack HIV inside certain immune system cells, which were previously difficult to reach with treatments. Bloomberg, AIDS 2012. The 12th of March, researchers at the Vienna University of Technology develop a 3D printer that can print at the nanoscale and is orders of magnitude faster than previous devices. Science Daily. A diet high in red meat can shorten life expectancy by increasing the risk of death from cancer and heart problems, according to a study of more than 120,000 people by researchers at Harvard Medical School. Substituting red meat with fish, chicken or nuts lowered the risks, the study found. BBC Arch. Intern, Med. The 13th of March, a California-based company has developed solar panels that are half the price of today's cheapest cells, and therefore cheap enough to challenge fossil fuels. Extreme Tech. Scientists have identified a potential drug that speeds up trash removal from the cell's recycling center, the lysosome, one of the causes of aging and degenerative diseases. Medical Express, Nat. Commune. The 14th of March, a fly species, kept in complete darkness for 57 years, 1,400 generations, showed genetic alterations that occurred as a result of environmental conditions, offering clear evidence of evolution. Discover magazine, PLOS 1. A pill which doubles the length of time that patients with advanced skin cancer can survive has gone on sale in Britain for the first time. The Telegraph. America's coastlines are even more vulnerable to sea level rise than previously thought, according to a pair of new studies. Up to 32% more real estate could be affected by a 1-meter rise in sea level, while the population exposed to rising water is 87% higher than previously estimated. Christian Science Monitor, Environ. Res. Let. 1. Environ. Res. Let. 2. A process to unprint toner ink from paper has been developed by engineers at the University of Cambridge, using short laser pulses to erase words and images. BBC, Prof. Roy, Soc. 8. The 15th of March, American scientists use a particle accelerator to send a coherent neutrino message through 780 feet of rock. This marks the first use of neutrinos for communication, and future research may permit binary neutrino messages to be sent immense distances through even the densest materials, such as the Earth's core. Hochschild, Mod. Phys. Let. A. The 16th of March, physicists found no discernible difference between the speed of a neutrino and the speed of light in latest test of the faster-than-light neutrino anomaly. New York Times, BBC, Arxiv. The 18th of March, researchers have identified why a mutation in a particular gene can lead to obesity. BBC, Nat. Med. NEC has developed organic radical battery, or technology with a thickness of just 0.3 mm. Bezorg. The 19th of March, even if humankind manages to limit global warming to 2 degrees Celsius, 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit, as the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change recommends, future generations will have to deal with sea levels 12 to 22 meters, 40 to 70 feet, higher than at present, according to research published in the journal Geology. Rutgers, Geology. Researchers at the RIKEN Advanced Science Institute, Japan, have developed a way to create full-color holograms with the aid of surface plasmids. Bezorg. The amount of photovoltaic solar panels installed in the U.S. more than doubled from 2010 to 2011, according to a report by the Solar Energy Industries Association (SEIA) and GTM Research. Bezorg. Seagate claims it has paved the way for 3.5-inch hard drives with 60 terabytes capacities, after breaking the 1 terabyte square inch density threshold. PC Pro. The 20th of March, astronomers have discovered the first known rectangular-shaped galaxy, LIDA 074886. Technology Review, Astrophys, J. New analysis by MIT shows that there is enough room underground to safely store at least a century's worth of U.S. fossil fuel emissions. MIT PNAS. The 24th of March, humans hunted Australia's giant vertebrates to extinction about 40,000 years ago, the latest research published in Science has concluded. BBC Science. The 25th of March, global temperatures could rise by 3.0 degrees Celsius, 5.4 degrees Fahrenheit by 2050, a new computer simulation has suggested. BBC Nat. Geosci. Canadian film director James Cameron reaches the Challenger Deep, the deepest known point in Earth's oceans, in the Deep-Sea Challenger submersible. Cameron is the first person to visit the deep, which is located in the Pacific Mariana Trench, since 1960. National Geographic, New York Times, MSNBC. Physicists report that the largest molecules yet tested, molecules containing 58 or 114 atoms, also demonstrate quantum wave behavior using the classic double-slit experiment. Life Science, Nat. Nanotechnology. The 28th of March, NASA announces the name of the Martian mountain, Mount Sharp, that the Mars Science Laboratory rover, also known as Curiosity, will explore after its planned landing in Gale Crater on 6 August 2012. Space.org, NASA. The 29th of March. Solar tornadoes, several times as wide as the Earth, have been observed in the Sun's atmosphere by the Atmospheric Imaging Assembly telescope on board NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory (SDO) satellite. Fazor. Scientists have revealed the most detailed picture of the Milky Way galaxy ever produced, with over 1 billion stars visible in a mosaic combined from thousands of individual images. BBC, the Royal Observatory, Edinburgh. New scanning technology has revealed that the human brain possesses an astonishingly simple 3D grid structure, with sheets of parallel neuronal fibers crossing one another at right angles. Medical Express, Science. April. The 2nd of April, the British Army announces the development of a conductive smart fabric for infantry uniforms. The fabric, which should enter widespread service by 2015, will eliminate the need for heavy, vulnerable power cables, making soldiers' electronics safer, cheaper and more durable. BBC. The 4th of April. A new, detailed record of past climate change has shown compelling evidence that the last ice age was ended by a rise in temperature driven by an increase in atmospheric carbon dioxide. The key result from the new study is that it shows the carbon dioxide rise during this major transition ran slightly ahead of increases in global temperature. BBC Nature. Austrian and Japanese researchers unveil solar cells that are thinner than a thread of spider silk, and flexible enough to be wrapped around a single human hair. Fazorg, Nat. Commune. American researchers begin a new project, funded by the National Science Foundation, to develop printable robots that can be designed and made to order by the average person in less than 24 hours. The project, which is hoped to come to fruition by 2020, could allow any individual to cheaply build automated tools for any task in their own home. BBC. The 5th of April. Dutch and American researchers report that they have created a working quantum computer outer diamond, using the diamond's natural impurities as superimposed qubits to perform calculations. Wired, Nature. Google unveils Project Glass, which aims to develop augmented reality glasses capable of layering information such as email, real-time traffic updates and video calls over a user's field of vision. Herald Sun. The Large Hadron Collider re-enters operation after an energy upgrade. It now has a total collision energy of 8 trillion electron volts, a major increase over its pre-upgrade energy of 7 TeV. The Guardian. The 6th of April, an international team of researchers reports that a new, drug-resistant strain of malaria has emerged on the Thai-Cambodian border, potentially threatening global efforts to contain the disease. Medical News Today, The Lancet. The 8th of April, American scientists revealed that transparent graphene sheets can be used to encapsulate liquids for study by electron microscopes. The discovery will greatly ease the accurate imaging of liquids at micro and nanoscales. BBC Science. The 10th of April, the Wellcome Trust, one of the world's largest private funders of scientific research, states that it is launching a new online journal to promote the free sharing of scientific papers. The new journal, titled A Life, is part of a widespread push for open access to scientific research, and will compel researchers to make their work freely available online. The Guardian. The 12th of April. A team of researchers from France's Laboratoire Univers et Theory releases the first-ever computer model simulation of the structure of the entire observable universe, from the Big Bang to the present day. The simulation has made it possible to follow the evolution of 550 billion individual particles, CNRS. A report reveals that the United States invested more in renewable energy technology in 2011 than any other nation, totaling $48 billion. China was the second largest investor, spending $45.5 billion on renewables. Worldwide, the combined investment in renewables reached an all-time high, at $236 billion. A later report published by the United Nations amends these figures, stating that China invested $52 billion in renewable energy in 2011, while the US spent $51 billion. BBC, Pew Environment, Forbes. German physicists developed the world's first universal quantum computing network, linking two laboratories using entangled rubidium atoms as network nodes. Nature News, Nature. An international team of researchers has used new, massively parallel DNA sequencing technology to fast-track the discovery of a breast cancer risk gene, XRCC2. Asian scientist Am. J. Hum, Janet DARPA, the U.S. military's advanced research agency, offers a $2 million prize to any team who can independently develop a rescue robot capable of multiple tasks, including climbing ladders, clearing obstacles, using power tools and driving cars. International Business Times. After studying 40 years of medical records, Swedish scientists state that sufferers of Huntington's disease are around 50% less likely to develop cancer than those without the disease. Further study may reveal the genetic mechanism behind this resistance, allowing new cancer treatments to be developed. Cancer Research UK, Lancet Oncology. The United Kingdom reports that it is considering the installation of undersea power cables to allow its national grid to draw clean energy from Iceland's volcanoes. Energy Live News. Scientists report that complexity analysis studies of the labeled release experiments of the 1976 Viking mission to Mars may suggest the detection of extant microbial life on Mars. Discovery News, intern, J. Aeronaut, Space Site. The 13th of April. North Korea's UNH-3 orbital rocket disintegrates in mid-flight over the Yellow Sea, destroying its payload, the Kwangyomsong-3 satellite. Analysts fear that the failed launch may raise the likelihood of North Korea conducting another nuclear weapons test. The Telegraph. German scientists develop a fiber-based, earthquake-proof wallpaper capable of reinforcing masonry and delaying building collapses during violent quakes. The invention could save lives by giving people more time to flee from collapsing buildings. New Zealand Herald Fire. The Pentagon places an order for advanced dual-focus contact lenses, designed to give soldiers greater visual awareness, in tandem with a new HUD system. The technology may enter the civilian market by 2014. BBC via Smart Planet. Dutch scientists report that they have found evidence of the existence of the Majorana fermion, a particle that is its own antiparticle. The existence of the Majorana was first theorized by the Italian scientist Ettore Majorana in the 1930s. BBC Science. Researchers at UCLA announced that they have genetically engineered stem cells to seek out and kill HIV in mice. Medical Daily, NBC Los Angeles, Floss Pathage. The 15th of April, researchers claim that new satellite imagery shows an increase in the mass of some glaciers in Asia's Karakoram mountain range. This data contrasts with the wider global trend of glacial melting. BBC, Nat. Geosci. The 16th of April, a new treatment for prostate cancer can rid the disease from 9 in 10 men without debilitating side effects, a study has found. The Telegraph, Lancet Oncology. The 17th of April, it is revealed that the Chinese and American militaries have been conducting informal war games together to help prevent military escalation in the event of a future cyber war. Sydney Morning Herald. The 18th of April, researchers at the American National Institutes of Health demonstrate a nanotechnology-based drug treatment which can successfully alleviate some symptoms of cerebral palsy, CP. The drug, which was tested in rabbits, caused a dramatic improvement of the movement disorders and brain inflammation that are characteristic of many cases of CP, Science Daily, Sci. Transl, Med. The 19th of April, a landmark study by British and Canadian scientists reveals that breast cancer can be subdivided into 10 distinct types, with its aggressiveness determined by certain genes. The new data may make breast cancer diagnoses much more precise, and allow cancer treatments to be more effectively tailored to each patient. The Guardian, NATU. Led by British scientists, a consortium including American, Belgian and Danish scientists successfully developed synthetic DNA compounds, dubbed XNA, which demonstrate evolution when faced with selective pressure. National Geographic, Science. British researchers identify key genes that switch off as the human body ages. These genes may be targeted by future anti-aging therapies. Science Daily, PLOS Genet. The 20th of April. Scientists say the notoriously dry continent of Africa is sitting on a vast reservoir of groundwater. BBC, Environ. Res. Let. A NASA-backed group of universities begins testing a GPS-derived earthquake warning system. The system, which uses satellite data to track seismic activity in real time, may allow accurate earthquake and tsunami warnings to be issued up to 10 times faster than is currently possible. Nature. After 3 years of development, IBM reveals a new, ultra-lightweight lithium-air battery, offering greater energy density than any current lithium-ion battery. The new battery may permit the production of electric vehicles with far greater range and battery life than current models. Extreme Tech. The 21st of April, scientists at Chicago's Northwestern University successfully trial a brain-computer interface capable of restoring naturalistic muscle movements in paralyzed rhesus monkeys. It is hoped the invention will eventually be approved to treat paralytic or brain-damaged humans. Extreme Tech, Nature. The 22nd of April, Intel Corporation releases its new Ivy Bridge microprocessors, the world's first commercial 22-nanometer microchips, featuring increased processing power and energy efficiency. BBC. The 24th of April, Planetary Resources, a startup company backed by Google billionaires Larry Page and Eric Schmidt and film director James Cameron, announces plans to develop technology to survey and mine asteroids for minerals by 2020. The company plans to launch the first element of its project, a network of orbital surveying telescopes, by 2014. BBC. The 26th of April, Australian scientists develop a multi-layered, silica-based hydrophobic coating with greater durability than previous such coatings. The invention may be used to make self-cleaning fabrics and antibacterial medical equipment. BBC, Langmuir. Researchers develop a crystalline quantum computer, composed of just 300 atoms, that theoretically is so powerful that it would take a conventional computer the size of the known universe to match it. ABC, Nature. Scientists report that lichen survived over 34 days under Martian conditions in the Mars Simulation Laboratory (MSL), maintained by the German Aerospace Center (DLR). Skymania, Geophys, Res. ABSTR. The 27th of April. Researchers identify 53 key neurons in the brains of homing pigeons which may explain how the birds navigate using Earth's geomagnetic field. New Scientist, Science. The British company Reaction Engines begins testing the advanced engine precooler system intended for its reusable Skylon spaceplane. If the tests are successful, the hybrid rocket Skylon, designed to vastly reduce the cost of orbital spaceflight, may begin flying cargo to Earth's orbit by 2020. BBC. Topic: May. The 1st of May. Scientists report that a new genetic test could diagnose the risk of breast cancer years before the disease actually develops, allowing much more effective early treatment. BBC, Cancer Res. French researchers successfully create silicene, a one-atom thick sheet of silicon that is analogous to the much-vaunted graphene. Silicene is theorized to retain silicon's excellent semiconductor properties, even at extremely small scales, and could allow the simple mass production of efficient nanoscale computers. POPSHI, Phys. Rev. Let. The 2nd of May, the European Space Agency selects the Jupiter Icy Moon Explorer (JUICE) proposal for its next major space exploration program. The robotic JUICE probe, which is planned to launch in 2022, will conduct in-depth studies of the Jovian moons Callisto, Europa and Ganymede. BBC. The 3rd of May, in the United Kingdom's first successful ocular implant trial, 2 men blinded by retinitis pigmentosa have their sight partially restored by prototype microchip implants. The Telegraph. The 8th of May, Claire Lomas, a paralyzed British woman, becomes the first person to complete a marathon using a bionic mobility suit. The Rewalk suit allowed her to complete the London Marathon in 16 days. The Guardian. The 9th of May, a detailed design is released for a practical artificial leaf, a potentially revolutionary milestone in the development of sustainable energy. Science Daily, ACC. Chem. Res. The 11th of May. American researchers report that preventable infections are the leading cause of child mortality worldwide. Of the 7.6 million children who died before their 5th birthday in 2010, over 60% died of infections such as pneumonia. BBC, The Lancet. Scientists at the University of Science and Technology of China use quantum teleportation to transmit photons over a distance of 97 kilometers (60 miles), a world record. The teleportation method, which utilizes quantum entanglement to transfer information between points without crossing the intervening space, could allow the development of ultra-secure satellite communications. POPSHI, Technology Review, Arxiv. The 12th of May, scientists refute the theory that sex-linked chromosomes, such as the male Y chromosome, will become extinct. A new study shows that, although such chromosomes have shrunk and lost genetic material, they remain crucially important predictors of fertility. Science Daily, PNAS. The 13th of May, researchers claim that there is a strong correlation between the loss of biodiversity and the disappearance of endangered languages and cultures. BBC, PNAS. The 14th of May. Researchers extend the lifespan of mice by 24%, using gene therapy applied when the mice were adults. The success of the technique, which involved inducing cells to produce more of the enzyme telomerase, suggests that adult life extension is feasible. Science Daily, Embo Mol. Med. Scientists grow healthy bone from human embryonic stem cells. This breakthrough could allow much quicker and easier bone grafts for human patients. Science Daily, PNAS. Scientists at California's Stanford University invent a working bionic eye powered only by focused light. Though currently a prototype, the device could eventually restore the sight of millions of people suffering from eye diseases such as macular degeneration and retinitis pigmentosa. BBC, Nat. Photon. The 15th of May. The United States announces a national plan to develop an effective treatment for Alzheimer's disease by 2025. BBC. American scientists develop a device which uses genetically engineered viruses to generate electricity. The invention could allow the development of ubiquitous piezoelectric micro-generators which gather energy from everyday vibrations such as closing doors. BBC, Nat. Nanotechnol. The 16th of May. American surgeons successfully restore hand function to a partly paralyzed man using a pioneering nerve transfer technique. Following the surgery and subsequent physiotherapy, the patient, who entirely lost the use of his hands in a car accident, can now feed himself and even write with some assistance. iAfrica.com. J. Neurosurge. Japanese scientists develop a wireless data transmission system which operates in the currently unregulated terahertz frequency spectrum. The system can transmit data at a rate of 3 gigabits per second, a record for wireless data transmission. It could potentially be upgraded to transmit at 100 gigabits per second. Extremetech, Electron, LET. The USGS and IAU officially name areas of Mars, including Aeolis Mons, Aeolis Palus and Robert Sharp Crater, relevant to the landing of NASA's Curiosity Mars rover, on the 6th of August 2012. Space.com, USGS. Engineers at Virginia Tech build the world's first 3D printing vending machine, which allows any member of the public to rapidly print objects on demand by submitting a blueprint to the machine. 3dprinting.com. The 20th of May, an annular solar eclipse takes place. BBC. The 22nd of May, American researchers demonstrate a rewritable DNA memory capable of storing digital data. HealthTech Zone, PNAS. The 23rd of May, in a breakthrough for adult stem cell therapy, Israeli scientists grow healthy heart muscle cells from the skin cells of patients. This development could offer a new treatment for heart failure patients. BBC, EUR. HeartShape. The 25th of May, SpaceX's unmanned Dragon spacecraft completes a successful rendezvous with the International Space Station, becoming the first commercial spacecraft ever to do so. New York Times, BBC, Wall Street Journal. South Africa, Australia and New Zealand agree to co-host the Square Kilometre Array, SCAR, the world's largest single radio telescope project. The SCAR, which will comprise thousands of individual antennae with a combined signal collecting area of 1 square kilometre, 1 million square meters, is expected to begin operations by 2025. BBC. American researchers unveil a cloaking device capable of slowing light to a virtual hall within an array of 25,000 microscopic lenses. BBC. New JPhys. Archaeologists announce the discovery of a 42,000-year-old bone flutes in a German cave, the oldest musical instruments yet discovered. J. Human Evol. The 29th of May. A road train of wirelessly linked autonomous vehicles successfully completes a 200-kilometer (120 miles) motorway journey, in Spain's first public test of autonomous vehicles. BBC. Iran claims to have developed antivirus software capable of defending against the powerful flame cyberweapon, which has infected computing networks across the Middle East. BBC. The 30th of May. Scientists successfully sequence the tomato genome, and state that tastier and more pesticide-resistant tomato varieties can be engineered for commercial use within 5 years. BBC, Reuters, Nature. Geologists report that supervolcanoes can develop much faster than previously suspected, erupting within just a few hundred years of their formation, instead of tens of thousands of years. BBC, PLOS1. The 31st of May. SpaceX's Dragon spacecraft returns to Earth following its successful test mission to the International Space Station. BBC. Scientists develop a nanotechnology-based immunoassay test which is potentially 3 million times more sensitive than conventional tests. The new test could revolutionize the early detection of maladies such as cancer and Alzheimer's disease. Science Daily, Analyst, Chem. The International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry (IUPAC) officially names synthetic elements 114 and 116, flerovium and livermorium, respectively. Science News, IUPAC. Sharp Corporation develops a solar cell with the highest solar energy conversion efficiency yet achieved. A conversion efficiency of 43.5% was obtained by using a concentrator triple-junction compound cell, combining a focusing lens with multiple layers of light-absorbing compounds. Photonics Online. June. The 1st of June. In a major milestone for neuroscience, researchers publicly released the first installment of data from their project to construct the first whole brain wiring diagram of a vertebrate brain, that of a mouse. Kurzweil. Scientists published the results of a successful neurorehabilitation study, in which paralyzed rats regained the ability to walk and even sprint after receiving targeted electrochemical therapy. The rats' damaged spinal cords were stimulated with chemicals and implanted electrodes, and a robotic assistive harness was used to teach the rats to walk again. Science Daily, BBC, Science. Australian researchers publish a new study revealing how the zebrafish heals its spinal cord after injury. According to the study, a specialized protein prevents paralyzing glial scars forming when zebrafish suffer spinal cord damage. It is hoped that this protein may be exploited for the treatment of paralyzed humans. Sci News, J. Neurosci. The 4th of June, a partial lunar eclipse takes place. MSNBC. The 5th of June. American glass manufacturer Corning Inc. unveils an ultra-thin, flexible glass dubbed Willow Glass. The invention, which is similar to Corning's widely used Gorilla Glass, could be used in the development of flexible computer displays and ultra-thin smartphones. BBC. The solar-powered Solar Impulse aircraft lands in Morocco after a 19-hour flight from Spain, marking the first intercontinental flight of a purely solar-powered aircraft. Reuters. 5 to 6 June, a transit of Venus, one of the rarest predictable astronomical phenomena, occurs. Another such transit will not occur until the year 2117. NASA, BBC. The 6th of June. An international group of scientists warns that population growth, widespread destruction of natural ecosystems, and climate change may be driving the Earth toward an irreversible change in the biosphere, a planet-wide tipping point. Science Daily, Nature. Scientists at Sweden's Karolinska Institute achieve a breakthrough in creating a new vaccine, $106 Canadian, for Alzheimer's disease. Karolinska Institute at Lancet Neurol. IPv6, a new version of the Internet Protocol, is officially launched, offering trillions of possible new web addresses. PC World, YouTube. Wales becomes the first nation in the world to have its plant's DNA barcoded. A tiny fragment of leaf, seed or root, or even a single pollen grain, can now be used to identify species. Wales Online PLOS1. German scientists develop zeolite thermal storage pellets that can store 4 times as much thermal energy as water, and can retain their energy almost indefinitely. Extremetech, AZO Cleantech. The 7th of June. According to NOAA scientists, the average temperature for the contiguous United States during May 2012 was 64.3 degrees Fahrenheit, 3.3 degrees Fahrenheit above the long-term average, making it the second warmest May on record. The month's high temperatures also contributed to the warmest spring, warmest year-to-date, and warmest 12-month period the United States has experienced since record-keeping began in 1895. Science Daily, NOAA. Scientists at the University of Washington successfully sequenced the genome of an 18-week-old human fetus in the womb by taking blood samples from the mother. In future, millions of children could be safely screened for genetic disorders in this way. BBC, Sci. Transl, Med. The U.S. Naval Research Laboratory has developed a form of underwater solar energy. NRL. A team of New Zealand scientists report that measuring the ratio of hydrogen and methane levels on the planet Mars may help determine the likelihood of life on Mars. According to the scientists, low H2, CH4 ratios, less than approximately 40, indicate that life is likely present and active. Space. Com. PNAS. In a separate study, a team of Netherlands scientists associated with MIT reported methods of detecting hydrogen and methane in extraterrestrial atmospheres. Wired, Nature. The 8th of June. American researchers report that they have successfully developed a key insulation technology required for the ITER nuclear fusion demonstration reactor, FISORG. American scientists build a tabletop-sized X-ray laser, vastly smaller and cheaper than most such devices. The invention could permit ultra-high-resolution imaging of microscopic structures such as living cells. BBC Science. British researchers begin trialling smart hand pumps equipped with transmitters that can immediately detect and report mechanical breakdowns. This will allow vital water pumps to be fixed much more quickly in rural Africa. BBC J. Hydroinformer. Japanese researchers grow a tiny, functioning human liver from stem cells. Nature News. The 10th of June. Canadian scientists develop a new method of accurately visualizing complex protein interactions. The development could have broad implications for the biomedical and bioengineering sciences, including the design of functional bionanomachines. Science Daily, Nat. Struct. Molt. Biol. The 11th of June. The European Extremely Large Telescope is approved for construction by member states of the European Southern Observatory Organization. BBC. The 12th of June. Scientists unveil a new porous metal organic framework, NOT 202, capable of capturing and storing excess carbon dioxide within its structure. BBC Nat. Meta. An extensive study concludes that several factors aligned to cause the extinction of woolly mammoths. Live Science Nat. Commune. The IARC, a WHO research agency, concludes that diesel exhaust exposure can cause cancer. CBS News, BBC, IARC. A123 Systems develops an improved version of its lithium-ion battery cells, potentially lowering the cost of electric vehicles. Technology Review. The 13th of June. NASA successfully launches its NuSTAR X-ray Space Telescope. The Register, NASA. Scientists fully decode the bonobo genome. BBC Nature. The 14th of June. Swedish surgeons report having implanted a patient with a working lab-grown vein created with the patient's own stem cells. BBC The Lancet. Chinese researchers report that fields of GM crops can be beneficial to nearby non-GM plants by encouraging the proliferation of beneficial predator insects, which reduce the need for pesticides. New Scientist Nature. Examples of cave art in Spain are dated to around 38,000 BC, making them the oldest examples of art yet discovered in Europe. Scientists theorize that the paintings may have been made by Neanderthals, rather than by Homo sapiens. BBC Science. 2012 LZ1, a large near-Earth asteroid, passes by the planet. National Geographic. Physical activity levels are declining worldwide, a trend that raises major health concerns, according to a new study. Gorka, Obes. Rev. New research warns that pH levels along the U.S. western seaboard will drop to 7.8 by 2050, with serious consequences for many organisms. Ed Zurich, Science. The 15th of June. American scientists report a possible genetic link between diabetes and an increased risk of Alzheimer's disease. BBC Genetics. NASA scientists report that Voyager 1 may be very close to entering interstellar space and becoming the first human-made object to leave the Solar System. BBC Smithsonian. The 16th of June. China successfully launches the manned Shenzhou 9 spacecraft on a mission to the Tiangong-1 space station module. Shenzhou 9 carries a crew of 3, including China's first female astronaut, Lu Yang. BBC Xinhua. The United States Air Force's robotic Boeing X-37B spaceplane returns to Earth after a successful 469-day orbital mission. Space.com. The 18th of June, researchers design a robot that can outperform humans in identifying a wide range of natural materials according to their textures. The invention paved the way for advancements in prostheses, personal assistive robots and consumer product testing. Science Daily, Front, Neurorobot. 19th of June, men who are heavy tea drinkers may be more likely to develop prostate cancer, according to new research. BBC, NUTR. Cancer. The 20th of June. Engineers build a working 50 gigapixel camera by synchronizing 98 tiny cameras in a single device. Fazorg, Nature. Renewable energy sources can fill 80% of American electricity demand by 2050, according to a new report. Fazorg, NREL. The 21st of June. Scientists develop the world's first magnetic emulsion, based on magnetic surfactant molecules. The invention could be used to clean up oil spills or even guide medicines through human blood vessels. BBC, Soft Matter. 2.8-million-year-old climate data is reconstructed from sediment cores recovered from Lake Elgagaikan, Russia. The data is considerably older than the 800,000-year-old ice cores found in the Antarctic. Ars Technica, Science. The 23rd of June, 100 years after the birth of English cryptanalyst and computer pioneer Alan Turing, British experts cast doubt on the long-held notion that Turing's death was a suicide. BBC, OUP. The 24th of June. China successfully completes its first manual orbital rendezvous, as the manned Shenzhou 9 spacecraft docks with the Tiangong-1 module without the assistance of automated docking systems. BBC. Rates of sea level rise are increasing 3 to 4 times faster along portions of the U.S. Atlantic coast than globally, according to a new U.S. Geological Survey report published in Nature Climate Change. USGS Nat. Clim. Change. The death of Lonesome George, probably aged over 100, renders the Pinta Island tortoise probably extinct. The 26th of June, the discovery of a new mineral, pangite, is announced, with samples found in the Allende meteorite. Wired. Amp. Mineral. The 27th of June. Physicists collide gold ions together to produce a quark-gluon plasma, similar to that which existed in the first instant after the Big Bang. In doing so, they momentarily produce what Guinness World Records reports is the highest man-made temperature ever, 4 trillion degrees Celsius, 7.2 trillion degrees Fahrenheit. Los Angeles Times. Scientists develop a new, high-precision method for modifying organic compounds with new active molecules, easing the development of new medicines. Science Daily, Nature. Scientists associated with University of the Witwatersrand, Johns Hopkins University and other international universities report that early humans, such as Australopithecus sediba, may have lived in savannas but ate fruit and other foods from the forest, behavior similar to modern-day savanna chimpanzees. MSNBC, New York Times, Nature. The 28th of June, an international team of astronomers discovers evidence that our Milky Way had an encounter with a small galaxy or massive dark matter structure perhaps as recently as 100 million years ago, and as a result of that encounter it is still ringing like a bell. Queen's University, Astrophysics, J. Lett. The 29th of June. American researchers demonstrate paint on batteries, composed of active layers just 0.5 mm thick, capable of being spray-painted onto almost any surface. The technology could allow for the creation of lighter, more flexible electronic devices with a wide range of form factors. BBC, Sci. Rep. Dutch and German scientists unveil a new brain-scanning functional magnetic resonance imaging device that allows paralyzed people to type out words using only their thoughts. BBC, Live Science, Kerr. Biol. Scientists discover the remains of an enormous, 3 billion-year-old impact near the Maniitsoq region of West Greenland, a billion years older than any other known collision on Earth. Daily Galaxy, Earth Planet. Sci. Let. Topic July 1st of July, the London Symphony Orchestra performs a musical composition created without human input by the IMS computer. Nature, The Guardian, the 2nd of July, American researchers use a 3D printer to build a sugar framework for growing an artificial liver. The sugar structure simulates a human vascular system, allowing artificial blood vessels to be grown to support the liver. BBC, Times of India, Nat. Meta, scientists use ultrasound to display 3D video on a modified liquid soap membrane, creating the world's thinnest transparent video display. BBC, graphene sheets with precisely controlled pores can purify water more efficiently than existing methods, according to scientists at MIT. NanoLET scientists report that indirect evidence supporting the existence of the Higgs boson has been found. The Guardian, Reuters, the 3rd of July. Researchers photographed the shadow of a single atom for the first time. Science Daily, Nat. Commune, a study led by Kansas State University, discovers a new quantum state, which allows 3, but not 2, atoms to stick together. Science Daily, Phys. Rev. Let, the 4th of July. CERN physicists announce the discovery of a particle consistent with the Standard Model's Higgs boson at a 5 sigma level of significance, indicating that there is only one chance in 3.5 million to get such a result by chance without a particle. New York Times, BBC, CERN announcement video. American scientists develop an electrically conductive gel that can easily be printed onto surfaces with a standard inkjet printer, allowing the rapid and simple production of a wide range of electronics. Science Daily, PNAS, researchers have identified 7 genetic markers linked with a woman's breast size, according to a new study. My Health News Daily, BMC Med. Gen. The 5th of July, scientists have produced the most detailed footage of a single neuron ever seen. In the time-lapse video, individual proteins are shown moving through different pathways within the cell. Gizmodo, Cell. Rep. The 6th of July. UCLA engineers develop an ultra-high-speed optical microscope capable of quickly and reliably identifying cancer cells in human blood, paving the way for faster, cheaper and more reliable cancer diagnoses. R&D magazine, PNAS, scientists construct the most biologically accurate robotic legs yet built, closely mimicking the motion of human leg muscles. BBC, J. Neural Eng, the 7th of July. Non-human animals including all mammals and birds, and many other creatures including octopuses possess consciousness, according to the New Cambridge Declaration on Consciousness. Scientific American, the 9th of July. Scientists discover a new molecule that could potentially make teeth cavity-proof. Gizmodo, scientists have, for the first time, directly detected part of the invisible dark matter scaffolding of the universe, where more than half of all matter is believed to reside. University of Michigan, Nature, the 10th of July. A new biofuel production process created by Michigan State University researchers produces energy more than 20 times higher than existing methods. Science Daily, Environ. Sci. Technol. In 2 new scientific articles, researchers refute NASA's claims that bacteria can successfully incorporate arsenic into their DNA. Chemistry World, Science. American scientists develop an electrode-based T-shirt capable of charging cell phones on the move. BBC ADV. Meta. It is reported that staying seated for long periods of time can reduce the human lifespan, unless mitigated by regular strenuous exercise. The Guardian, BMJ Open. The 11th of July. New research from the University of Manchester indicates that graphene, already noted for its strength and conductivity, is capable of repairing its structure without human assistance by absorbing loose carbon atoms from its vicinity. Gizmodo, BBC, NanoLET. NASA's Cassini space probe images a huge gaseous vortex shrouding the south pole of Saturn's moon Titan. BBC. Virgin Galactic unveils its privately developed satellite launch vehicle, Launcherone, and confirms that its Spaceship2 spaceplane will soon begin powered test flights. Virgin Galactic. The Hubble Space Telescope discovers a 5th moon of the dwarf planet Pluto. Hubble site. The 13th of July. A new survey shows that lemurs are far more threatened by extinction than previously thought. BBC. The 15th of July, it is reported that dracunculiasis, also called guinea worm disease (GWD), is on the verge of being wiped out, becoming only the 2nd human disease after smallpox to be eradicated. Scientific American. The 16th of July, a major milestone in HIV prevention is reached, as the FDA approves an existing drug, Truvada, for uninfected adults at high risk of acquiring the disease. Medical News Today, FDA. The 19th of July. An iceberg twice as large as Manhattan reportedly breaks off from Greenland's Petermann Glacier. BBC. a new nanoparticle coating with self-repairing surface functionality has been developed. The coating uses polymer stalks tipped with functional compounds to repair surface damage. Science Daily, BBC ADV. Meta. Astronomers have discovered the most ancient spiral galaxy yet, dating back 10.7 billion years, IO9, Nature. The 20th of July. A giant potable aquifer is discovered in Namibia, potentially offering enough drinkable water to sustain the country for centuries. BBC. Using mice, researchers have grown sweat glands from newly identified stem cells. Science Daily, Cell. The 23rd of July. American scientists create an artificial jellyfish out of silicone and lab-grown heart cells. The construct is capable of swimming in a similar manner to real jellyfish when stimulated with an electric current. BBC Nat. Biotechnol. Researchers report that 14% of British stomach cancer cases could be prevented by reducing public salt intakes. The Guardian. Researchers create the first complete computer model of a living organism, fully simulating a bacterium. ZME Science, New Scientist. The 25th of July. Satellite data reveals that 97% of Greenland's ice is undergoing a thaw, the greatest level of ice melt ever recorded on the landmass. NBC News, NASA. A rift in the Antarctic rock as deep as the Grand Canyon is increasing ice melt from the continent, researchers say. BBC Nature. The International Space Station's Alpha Magnetic Spectrometer instrument reports that it has recorded 18 billion cosmic ray events since its installation in 2011. BBC. The 26th of July. The rapid decline in Arctic sea ice is at least 70% due to man-made global warming, according to a new study, and may even be up to 95% caused by humans, a far higher proportion than scientists had previously thought. The Guardian, Environ. Res. Let. Using complex algorithms, researchers have found that pop songs over the last 50 years have become increasingly louder and more bland in terms of the chords, melodies and types of sound used. Reuters, Sci. Rep. Using a bone marrow transplant, 2 men have been cured of HIV infection. NBC News AIDS 2012. Aging termite workers are discovered to use a toxic crystalline structure to self-destruct, spraying enemy insects with toxins in defense of their termite mounds. BBC Science. An American gunsmith produces the world's first functional 3D printed plastic firearm. Extreme Tech. The 27th of July. In preparation for the beginning of the 2012 Summer Olympics in London, British telecom companies create a hugely expanded network infrastructure in the city, including over 1,000 new Wi-Fi hotspots and 30 additional mobile phone masts. BBC. Swiss scientists claim that Earth's moon may have been formed in a glancing, hit-and-run collision with a large, fast-moving protoplanet. BBC Icarus. Japanese women have fallen behind Hong Kong citizens in life expectancy for the first time in 25 years, dropping from 86.3 years in 2010 to 85.9 years in 2011. This was partly due to the earthquake and tsunami of March 2011, according to a report by Japan's Health Ministry. BBC, Japan Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare. American scientists use microbes to cleanly convert electricity into methane gas, potentially offering a new form of renewable energy. Science Daily. The 29th of July, major technology companies predict that as many as 50 billion electronic devices may be wirelessly connected worldwide by 2020, as automated machine-to-machine communication sees increasing use in retail and manufacturing. New York Times. The 31st of July, people with even minor symptoms of mental illness have a lower life expectancy, according to a large-scale population-based study published in the British Medical Journal. Science Daily, BMJ. Topic: August. The 1st of August, researchers claim to have resolved one of the biggest controversies in cancer research, discovering the specific cancer cells that seem to be responsible for the regrowth of tumors. Nature News. The 2nd of August, scientists in Antarctica announced that they have discovered what appears to be the remains of an ancient rainforest from the early Eocene period buried deep beneath the ice. Slate Discovery News, Nature. A study published in Animal Behavior finds that female spiders that cannibalize their mates produce much healthier offspring than non-cannibalizing spiders, supporting a link between sexual cannibalism in the animal kingdom and reproductive success. BBC, Animal Behave. The 3rd of August. Deforestation in the Amazon rainforest has fallen again in the past 12 months, according to preliminary data published by Brazil's National Institute for Space Research. The Guardian. American and Canadian researchers develop a medical spray which uses human skin cells and coagulant proteins to speed up the healing of open wounds such as leg ulcers. In medical trials, the skin spray proved over 20% more effective than other ulcer treatments. BBC, The Lancet. The 6th of August. NASA's Mars Science Laboratory mission successfully lands Curiosity, the largest Mars rover yet built, in Mars Gale crater. Los Angeles Times. BBC. Papua New Guinea's government has approved the world's first commercial deep-sea mining project, despite strong environmental concerns. The Guardian. The 7th of August, new brain research refutes the results of earlier studies that cast doubts on free will. Medical Express, PNAS. The 8th of August. Anthropologists in northern Kenya unearthed fossils of a previously unconfirmed species of human that lived approximately 2 million years ago. BBC, Nature. Almost 1/4 of the world's population lives in regions where groundwater is being used up faster than it can be replenished, concludes a comprehensive global analysis of groundwater depletion published in Nature. Nature News, Nature. The 9th of August, American and South Korean engineers build a flexible, worm-like robot that moves by mimicking the contraction of an earthworm. The robot's artificial muscle is based on a nickel-titanium wire that expands and contracts in response to electric currents. It can squeeze through tight spaces and absorb heavy impacts, and could be used in future for covert reconnaissance missions. BBC, IEEE, ASME Trans. Mechatron. The 10th of August, engineers successfully test a new algorithm that allows autonomous UAVs to fly through complex structures without requiring GPS navigation. Science Daily. The 11th of August. The Perseid meteor shower reaches its peak for 2012, becoming widely visible in the Northern Hemisphere. The Guardian. Experts declare the 2012 London Olympics to be the greenest Olympics ever, praising its use of recycled materials and temporary venues, and noting the improvements made to London's transport infrastructure. BBC. Sea ice in the Arctic is disappearing at a far greater rate than previously expected, according to data from the first purpose-built satellite launched to study the thickness of the Earth's polar caps. The Guardian. The 12th of August, scientists discover a single genetic switch that triggers the loss of brain connections in humans, and also causes depression in animal models. The findings could lead to more effective antidepressant therapies. Science Daily, Nat. Med. The 13th of August. South Korean researchers develop a cheap electronic ink based on tiny rectennas, capable of transmitting data over short distances. The printable invention could potentially revolutionize the field of augmented reality. BBC, Nanotechnology. A new class of polymers has been discovered that are resistant to bacterial attachment. These new materials could lead to a significant reduction in hospital infections and medical device failures. Science Daily, Nat. Biotech. US wind energy reaches 50 gigawatts of capacity. The Guardian. The 14th of August. Boeing's X-51 hypersonic scramjet prototype is destroyed during a powered test flight after a control fin failure. Fox News. Scientists from Singapore shrink the 1972 Playboy centerfold image of Swedish model Lena Soderberg to the width of a human hair. It is hoped that this new miniaturization method will lead to more efficient watermarks or covert messages. BBC Nat. Nanotech. The 15th of August, in a major breakthrough, an international team of scientists has proven that addiction to morphine and heroin can be blocked, while at the same time increasing pain relief. Science Daily, University of Adelaide J. Neurosci. The 16th of August. Researchers have finally found a compound that may offer the first effective and hormone-free birth control pill for men. Science Daily, Cell. British scientists developed the world's first room-temperature maser, using a crystal of p-terphenyl to modify a commercial medical laser to produce coherent microwave emissions without the need for expensive magnets and coolant. The maser could be used to develop more sensitive medical scanners and radio telescopes. BBC Nature. Harvard University scientists develop a flexible, octopus-inspired robot capable of rapidly camouflaging or advertising itself by pumping liquid dyes into channels on its surface. The relatively inexpensive robots could be used in a variety of fields, from surgery to search and rescue to covert operations. BBC Science. The 17th of August. Jennifer Doudna and Emmanuelle Charpentier publish a pioneering paper on CRISPR-mediated programmable genome editing. A group of South Korean scientists has reportedly developed a carbon battery for electric vehicles capable of charging up to 120 times faster than standard batteries. In Habitat, researchers have demonstrated a way to potentially hack into a person's brain using BCI technology. Extremetech, Usenix. Researchers at Harvard's Wyss Institute for Biologically Inspired Engineering successfully store 5.5 petabits of data, around 700 terabytes, in a single gram of DNA, breaking the previous DNA data density record by 1,000 times. Extremetech, Science. The 18th of August, scientists in the United States report that they have found a new family of spiders in the caves of California and Oregon. It is the first such discovery in North America for more than 140 years. BBC Zookeys. The 19th of August, scientists are reportedly close to developing a baldness cure. The Telegraph. The 20th of August, the first evidence of a planet's destruction by its aging star has been discovered by an international team of astronomers. Penn State Science, Astropies. J. Lett. The 21st of August, MIT researchers report that a genetically modified organism could turn carbon dioxide or waste products into a gasoline-compatible transportation fuel. MIT, APPL. Microbial, Biotechnical. A new study of 9 coastal cities around the world suggests that Shanghai is most vulnerable to serious flooding later this century. Science Daily, Hazards. Life in the world's oceans is facing a potential mass extinction, largely due to human activity, say researchers. Huffington Post, Trends ECOL. Evol. Researchers have developed an electronic nose prototype that can detect small quantities of harmful airborne substances. Science Daily. Scientists have identified the crucial role of a protein called MOF in the epigenetics of stem cells. The protein helps prime stem cells to become specialized cells in mice. Science Daily, Cell Stem Cell. Analysts report that robotic technology is seeing increased use in the global mining industry, as mining and drilling companies seek to reduce personnel costs by installing autonomous trains, trucks, drills and underwater vehicles. Technology Spectator. The 22nd of August, LG Electronics unveils the world's largest commercial ultra-definition TV, boasting 4 times the resolution of 1080p high-definition screens. BBC. NASA names the Curiosity rover's Martian landing site, Bradbury Landing, in honor of the American science fiction author Ray Bradbury, who died in June 2012 aged 91. Meanwhile, Curiosity conducts a successful short-range test drive, proving that its mobility system is in nominal condition. The Guardian, NASA. A large-scale test of smart vehicle data sharing begins in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Over the course of the year-long trial, around 2,800 vehicles will be fitted with vehicle-to-vehicle wireless communications, allowing them to share data about their movements and alert their drivers if they are at risk of collision. Such technology could be used in future to drastically reduce traffic accidents.